I'm at the Greenwood Cemetery in Orlando, Florida. I simply came to visit a graveyard, that of Harry P. Lew. I know this is weird. He has a beautiful collection of plants from all over the world that he collected throughout his travels. And so if you're ever in Orlando, instead of just going to Disney or any of the theme parks, try and visit the botanical gardens of Harry P. Lew. It's in Winter Park, which is next to Orlando. It is so beautiful. There's a rose garden. If you come in the right season, you'll see all the roses bloomed. And he's also got like an Asian garden, a tropical garden. And there's also a white garden. All the flowers and plants have white in them. That it's also like a seasonal. You can see all the white. I think it's around the spring. Just like the rose garden. But I don't know. This cemetery is like the oldest cemetery in Orlando, built in 1880. And it's huge. I just drove, but I'm just walking to the grave where he's buried. He passed away, seems like a long time ago, 1977, and his wife is buried next to him. If you've ever pictured your burial, you know how the first few weeks, few months, few years, you have flowers and visitors. But eventually there's going to be a point where, as you can see, how this graveyard, for example, Mr. Harry P. Lew, may he rest in peace and be with the Lord. It's not extravagant. It's nothing fancy. He's just buried there. It's a memorial. It has his name and the dates he was born and died. And he's buried in a beautiful cemetery, huge, whatever, but nothing fancy and private and luxurious, you might think. And there was no flowers or ornaments around his grave. And yeah, it's been a long time since his passing, but that's the way it's going to be with all of us. Time's going to pass and life is going to go on. And we need to not forget that it's going to be a point in time where even for the most famous of people, that's not going to matter no more, because you're not here no more and people forget you. You know what I mean? We get forgotten. Yeah, we don't get forgotten by everybody, but eventually it all fades away, and all that lives is your spirit. And your spirit is the most important thing that should matter. At least for me, it matters more. My spirit more than my body. Yes, I take care of my body, but I also feed my spirit positive, good things like that, which is taught in the Bible by God. Where do you want to get buried when you die? That's something we need to think about, because eventually if you don't like where you live and they need to transport your body to your original place of birth, if that's where you want to get buried in, it's very pricey and you need to put it in your budget. Anyhow, I'm headed over to Mr. T.G. Lee's graveyard. He was a businessman around the area. If you know the T.G. Lee milk, that's his business, or one of them. Anyhow, let's go there. I found Mr. Lee's gravesite. See how simple? Mr. T.G. Lee, so he is a businessman was a businessman. He's got a big giant milk factory in the middle of Orlando, and basically his milk is distributed in all the public schools in Florida. So could you imagine? He started out with one cow that his father gave him and some acres of land, and from there he built up, worked, and built the business that is known as T.G. Lee Milk. Another example of a graveyard that is fairly simple looking. You would not know that big businessman who feeds all the children in Florida with milk is buried right there, right now. I also just learned that Mr. T.G. Lee fought in World War I, so that's why there's a flag right there. I had to look it up because I saw there was a flag there, and I see a few flags all throughout this section, actually. There's a lot of vets here. But he suffered from pneumonia in World War I, so he had to get out.